my friend refused to let me see my dream home. Now I'm suspicious.
But it's just so beautiful.
I am torn. I've been looking for a new home, and my good friend is a real estate agent. So I signed an exclusive buyer's agent agreement with him. It seemed like the right thing to do since we're friends, and I trusted him to have my back. By the way, this comes from Definition Famous 9656, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments. OP says, the problem is that the perfect house just came on the market. It checks every box on my list, and I'm honestly almost ready to offer without even seeing it, but he completely shut me down. He got angry and told me he won't let me see it, that I shouldn't even consider it. After much pushing, he told me that because the listing agent is his ex, which I already knew. We're friends. I know his ex. Never liked him, but it was his choice. It would be too complicated and not worth the drama for him. I'm in a tough spot because I signed a contract, but it feels like a massive breach of his duty to me. He's prioritizing his personal feelings over my best interest, preventing me from seeing what could be my future home. What are my options here? Can I legally break our contract? Should I try to find a different agent? But then, how do I handle this without ruining our friendship? Any advice on how to navigate this would be huge. Edit, this is in Illinois, and there is an update. Thanks everyone for all your comments. I slept on it and woke up to all your advice, which reiterated what I was thinking. And I sent out an email to him first, telling him that I'm ending the contract effective immediately, since he isn't willing to put his personal feelings aside in order to fulfill his duties as my agent. I kept what I thought was a friendship out of it. I'm hoping that if he is a friend like he says, he'll respect my decision and not let it affect it. But if it does, maybe I'll get my dream home and get rid of a false friend. Win-win. I reached out to a new agent, hoping to hear soon and be able to do a walkthrough. I'm hoping this is it. Wish me luck. And there is another update. The house I think is perfect for me has an open house tomorrow. I have not signed with a new agent yet. I will go see it, and I'm sure the a-hole will be there. It's not an issue for me. My now ex-friend returned my work message being condescending and saying I'll regret it. He didn't even bother replying to the friend email I sent. So that's done, and I admit I'm relieved. I was trying to see a friendship where there really wasn't one. Just hope tomorrow goes as I hope. Relevant comments. One commenter says, tell him to take his pick. A, get over it and show you the house. B, release you from the buyer's agreement. C, sit down with his broker and discuss him and his brokerage firm being in material breach of contract by not fulfilling his contractual obligations. OP says, thanks. I asked to be released and he got upset, saying I was putting our friendship, which I value a lot, before his integrity. But I always told him the ex was an a-hole. Why am I now being punished for his not wanting to deal with him? I feel like I'm in a lose-lose situation. Comment 2 says he's putting his petty ex drama before your friendship. This guy cares more about his feelings than providing the professional service he agreed to provide you. Fire him as your agent and your friend. If he wants to get petty, then report him too. OP says this, the ex is an absolute a-hole. I never liked him, and I am not excited about him making money out of this if I do end up getting the house. But I am putting that aside because this place is so promising. And while I get that my friend was hurt badly and doesn't want to deal with him, he also needs to put it aside. Comment 3 says, yes, just get some other agent to show it to you. This can't be a real post unless you are his new lover. OP says, I'm not in a relationship with him. We've known each other for a long time. I never thought he would put his relationship with his ex in the middle of this. I thought our friendship was stronger than that. Now I see it isn't. OP on the friend, his ex, and the commission. OP says, I think he doesn't want the ex to get the commission, which I don't either. The guy is an a-hole, but I'm not letting that get in the way of my dream home, which I hope is as great as it looks on the listing. I already told my friend I am moving to another agent, but I haven't heard back yet. Thanks so much for the advice. Comment 4 says his broker should be able to transfer you to another agent in the same office. Your friend will get a referral. His broker will get commission. Everyone will be happy. Why he didn't suggest this up front is bizarre. OP says he owns his own real estate business. I just had to send a cancellation and I'll work with someone else. I hope he can understand and that we can maintain our friendship. But if he doesn't, then I guess we weren't that great of friends. And there is a third update 5 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are that great of friends.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think either that or it could be the kind of thing that OP is pulling of like, I don't know. I might be jumping to conclusions, but it kind of feels like OP is like testing their friendship with this.
A little bit.
Which I don't love. I mean, obviously, you know, sometimes you kind of take what you see and you're like, okay, well, that's kind of what this is. It's not that great of a friendship, I guess, because of this. But I mean, if you really do value the friendship, you can still fight for it, even if the other person isn't like that much.
Yeah.
Like there's still, you could still do something about it if you really wanted to.
Personally, if I were in this situation and it was with one of my close friends, I would go to them and be like, hey,
yeah,
you know, I get it, but I want this house. You're like, this is a job.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to do it, I'll like, I'll find someone else. It'll be totally fine. But like, you know, this is why I hired you. And this is kind of what we agreed on.
Yeah. It's not something that I would risk. Like I want the house, but it's not something that I would want to.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to force you to do something that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
But I also do want this house. Yeah. Right? That would be the conversation that I would have. And I would have it in person. I wouldn't have it over email.
Yeah. Maybe even the phone.
Or maybe even the phone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like this is the type of friendship that is, you know, close.
Right.
Which in that case, you know, no great loss. Some will read this and say my story is BS. I probably would. I'm still in disbelief about what's going on, but here's the update to my original post about my ex-friend and real estate agent. For those who didn't see it, I put the link above. In a nutshell, my real estate agent told me I couldn't see my dream house because he had a personal issue with a listing agent. After I told my ex-friend that I was ending our contract, he got snarky and told me I would regret it. I went to see my dream house at the open house yesterday. I was nervous because the pictures were amazing and the house was exactly what I wanted. When I got there, the house was everything I dreamed of and more. It's my style, the perfect size, and I loved it. I also ran into the ex. While I didn't care for him when they were together, I kept things civil. He never did anything to me. But then he said something that I was definitely not expecting. He asked me why ex-friend wasn't representing me. When I told him we parted ways, he asked, oh, 'cause of his sister and her offer? We were right.
Whoa.
We were right from the beginning.
He wanted it.
He wanted this whole time.
I guess not for himself, but his sister, but still.
We were right this whole time.
Come on, man.
This is not a great friend. I was confused and asked what he meant. He told me that ex-friend asked him for a private viewing with his sister when the house was listed. His sister and her husband loved the house and put in an offer, but it was way below the asking price. When ex told ex-friend the offer wouldn't work, he tried to argue that the house would never sell for the asking price. I wanted to run, find ex-friend, and give him the old one too. He knows this house is well within my budget and that I have a pre-approved loan. As some of you remember, his excuse was that he wouldn't show me the house because he didn't want to deal with ex. But now I know that all along he was trying to get his sister a house she couldn't even afford. After the open house, I had a long chat with ex, and what he shared from his point of view about their breakup and other things made so much sense. Now it's clear that ex-friend was a master at manipulating stories to make himself sound like the victim.
Whoa.
I can't believe I was friends with him for so long and fell for all of his lies.
Whoa.
I am looking for legal advice already. I have a couple of lawyers lined up, none of whom are friends. X said he is willing to share whatever he can legally disclose to help me if I decide to sue. I'm not looking for anything from ex-friend. I just don't want anyone else to fall for his lies and deceiving practices. As for the house, it's perfect. I'm going to work with X's office and use one of their brokers to put in an offer. X said there is a way to skip the commission my agent would get. I really don't understand how all these things work, which is probably why I am where I am now. Thank you to everyone who read my drama. I've definitely learned a few things. No business with friends. Don't hire someone I can't fire. And don't be so naive. Here's to incoming pictures of my closing day with a pepperoni pizza. And edit, when I said below that I'm seeking legal advice, I meant for me to report ex-friend. I want to make sure everything is lined up and done properly, especially if he tried to fight back somehow. The lawsuit part was what X told me. He somehow thought I could, but I don't want anything. Even if I had grounds for a lawsuit, I just don't want him to do to others what he did to me. By the way, what I want you and others to do is listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there are some relevant comments left. Do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of just like, well,
yeah,
this
clearly
is what's happening.
Wasn't a great friend.
I guess not. I really do wonder if there have been other things in the friendship that were like either kind of sneaky or kind of like if they've had like past arguments or tension or something like that. Because yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't a great friend. I guess this wasn't just like an out of nowhere kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
agreed. Very much seems like your friend is not a great person.
Yeah.
Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, an unethical agent. Who would have thought? Sarcasm. I don't know if a lawsuit is really warranted, but a complaint to your state's licensing agency would be warranted. OP says, thanks. I requested 2 lawyers to see if I have any grounds for a lawsuit. I'm waiting to hear back. While X said he would be willing to share whatever he legally could, I know it wouldn't be much, and at the end of the day, X-friend taking his sister and representing her, etc., wasn't illegal. I just want to make sure he can't do what he did to me to others, particularly naive ones like me who think agents have our best interests. Comment 2 says, what are you going to sue for? What are your damages? Regardless, it will be at least $3,000 to open a case for discovery. This isn't a reality TV show where people cower from threats. Is the guy a knucklehead? Maybe, but no one is losing their license over this drama fest. OP says my use of the word lawsuit wasn't the best here. I'm trying to protect myself. I want a real estate lawyer to review it all and proceed with whatever can be done. I'm not seeking anything other than for him to hopefully not be able to do the same thing to others. Comment 3 says I'd have a conversation with the, wherever you are, Association of Realtors or the state licensing board. I think that accomplishes what you want, nipping the unethical behavior in the bud, without making a huge expensive drama out of it. So make a complaint to the association or board or state regulatory agency, whatever it is you have there, that you should keep it at the lowest level, not cost you anything, and give the profession the opportunity to police itself. OP says, oh, amazing. That's great to know. This is the type of advice I'm here for. Thanks so much. And Comment 4 says, you've consulted attorneys but haven't put an offer in on your perfect house? You've spent time making and updating a Reddit post but haven't put an offer in on your house? OP says, I met with the seller's broker yesterday morning and they walked me through the benefits of me working with them versus getting a different and new agent. I wanted the offer done yesterday, but they said they needed 24 hours. Their policy is to disclose to their client the sellers before submitting an offer themselves. Well, which I thought was a very honest thing to do. I didn't update Reddit until all that was done. The sellers are okay with them representing us both, and the offer will be submitted today. And that's the end of that story.
My friend made my dress shopping revolve around her, and I've had enough.
It's my dress.
Late 2025 bride here. I chose my bridal party extremely early on. Of course, I'm changing all names, but my bridal party consists of maid of honor, Josie, bridesmaids, Gabby, Samantha, Sam, Alex, Ava, and Kayla. Trying to make a very long story short, Alex started trying to cause trouble before any plans were even set in stone, other than the wedding date. I'm not putting up with it for my wedding, so Alex was taken out of the bridal party. I replaced her with my cousin Gwen. By the way, this comes from No Squash 5483, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So let us know if you do, or if you've been in this situation, what would you do? Put it in the comments. So OP says, Gwen wasn't originally in simply due to the fact that we hadn't spoken in years. She's on my bio dad's side, and I had cut all contact with them because of his toxic behavior. My dad is sober now and is trying to have a relationship with me, and my cousin and I are now as close as we were when we were younger. So, easy switch, no big deal. Well, a month ago, I purchased my wedding dress and set up an appointment for bridesmaids dress shopping. I made a group chat with everyone and let them all know. I let my maid of honor know a day or two before everyone else because she has a 5-month-old and needed to plan her schedule. The dress shop, honestly any dress shop, is 2 hours away from us. Josie offered to drive her vehicle and said that she would have 3 seats available as she might have to bring her son. I said that was fine and we would figure out carpooling once I let all the other girls know. After I let everyone know, Josie said that she had to have someone ride with her. I said that that was also fine because I don't have the room in my car. We figured out someone to ride with her, and then she asked if she could bring her boyfriend to watch her kid while she drove. I said that I would have to check with everyone and make sure that they were comfortable. No one spoke up and said that they weren't comfortable, so I told Josie that it seemed to be fine. Most of the girls wanted to ride with me because they weren't comfortable driving to a bigger city. She told me that her son has silent reflux and could get choked in a car ride. Oh, wow. Up until that point, all she had said was that he hates car rides and would scream the whole way. So she wanted someone qualified to ride with her. As we were trying to figure out a plan, she told me that she had a solution. She said that her mom would let us take her van, but I would have to drive it. I was obviously not comfortable with this, as her mom's van is brand new. She said that she could drive, but I would have to watch her baby. Before I even got a chance to respond, she switched to saying that she couldn't drive. She needed to be the one watching her baby. There was a whole lot of back and forth, but basically, she wanted someone to drive her and her screaming 5-month-old the entire way to a big city. She wanted them to use their car and was not going to offer any gas money. The only bridesmaid who had not claimed a seat in my car has a heart problem and can't drive until it's figured out. Her solution for her boyfriend driving also wouldn't have worked because he wouldn't drive her to a big city. All of it was very weird to me. It ended up that she went to a new doctor and her son was put on medicine, so she said that she could now drive her and Kayla, who can't drive due to her heart. Our bridesmaid's appointment was yesterday. Friday evening, Josie calls me to tell me that she freaked out and invited her mother to go with us. Please keep in mind, at the beginning of this whole situation, Josie said that her mom couldn't watch her baby because she had an event. So I relent and tell her it's fine, whatever. Around 11:30 Friday night, Gwen calls me. She is dating Kayla's younger brother, so they are around each other a lot. Gwen said that Kayla was uncomfortable riding with Josie because Josie had invited her entire family. What? I was shocked. All Josie had said was her mom, but apparently she was bringing her mom, her younger brother Jorge, and his fiance Lori, and her 3 younger siblings, plus her baby. Josie was also texting me about the restaurant that we were going to eat at, asking if I had made a reservation because, quote, her group wouldn't be willing to wait for a table. Her group?
Now it's a whole group?
Yeah, I mean, this is huh? The restaurant we were eating at does not do reservations, so I let her know this, and she stated that they may not be able to eat with us then.
You shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're probably not willing to wait because there's so many of you guys, and that's gonna take forever
a whole
to
village.
find a table. I told Kayla she was welcome to ride with me as I had 1 seat left since Sam couldn't go due to work. At this point, I had given up on the argument with Josie. We finally get to the dress shop when Josie calls me to ask where we are. We had about an hour and a half until the appointment. I had just pulled into the dress shop to plan where we were going to go nearby while we waited to waste time until the appointment. She decided to go to a store down the road and then hit PetSmart. I told Josie this, and she got an attitude with me about how she was at the mall because she thought that that's where we were supposed to meet. I told her that we were going to the mall, but I believed that we were going to do it after, as the mall was 10 minutes from the store. By the time we got there, we would probably have 40 minutes to shop because we would have to leave again. I explained that it would be easier to hit the 2 shops 5 minutes away and have more time in each of them, and then we could go to the mall afterwards. Her whole plan was for her family to shop at the mall while we were at the dress shop. She asked me if I had an extra seat available, and I told her I did not. Which was true. We were packed in like sardines. She said, okay, and I said that once we decide which store we're going to first, I'll shoot her a text and let her know. We got off the phone, and me and the other girls decided our plan. I texted her as soon as we decided. The response I got from her was that she was no longer going to go dress shopping with me. Really?
After all this.
That is crazy. She said that she came to spend the day with me and had done everything to make sure that she got there, but I couldn't expect her to drive to the store with her baby.
You have 6 other people that could watch this baby.
And the crazy part about that, though, is that was the problem this whole time. That was
the whole time.
The initial issue that they were trying to solve was trying to get her here with her baby for some reason.
She added it's like if you're trying to duct tape something back together, and
Yeah.
you start like the base of it is the part that's broken,
Right.
but you're wrapping a bunch of tape on the top,
Yeah.
and then you're like, it's still broken.
Yeah. It's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
She said that she was not comfortable driving with her baby, and she couldn't leave him with her mom, as her mom had 3 other kids. Also, this was the first time that I was made aware that her 3 youngest siblings were in attendance as well. I know that I said that earlier in the story, but I had literally found out through her text canceling on me. Yikes. Another thing was that her brother Jorge had texted me asking the address of the dress shop. I didn't know the address and I was driving, so while I was at a red light, I let him know the road it was off of and that it would come up in a Google search. Her brother and I really get along, so I was not being rude to him in any way. He asked what the plan was, and I told him that I had no idea because I was not aware that they were coming until late last night. He apologized and said that they honestly weren't either and had no intention of intruding. I told him thank you and that there was no bad blood between me and him. I was just a little upset at the moment. He told me he completely understood. After the long text from Josie explaining that she was canceling on me, she sent a follow-up text to tell me that there was no reason for me to be passive-aggressive to her brother, as all he was doing was asking for the address. I'm sorry? What? Did the brother say this, or is Josie just reading the text? I still have not responded and don't think I'm going to. But I had Gwen purchase the maid of honor dress because she is not the maid of honor. And by the way, I hope you respond to this video by listening to more stories and episodes just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but
yeah, that's the end of that maid of honor.
Yeah.
She's not your maid of honor anymore.
Her brain isn't working right now.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and if she's the maid of honor, typically that comes with the job of like planning the bridal shower or bachelorette party.
It's like, I can't trust you to plan a car ride.
Literally.
I'm not trusting you to plan anything else.
Yeah, because also too, if the problem is that she can't leave the baby with her mom, and so she can't drive, the brother Jorge is still there. So maybe he could drive.
5 other people could have taken care of this baby.
This is so insane.
Yeah.
So insane. I don't know if I'm being petty or bridezilla, but it feels like Josie was lying about the car situation from the start, and she can't even show up for me for one day. She's been extremely rude to me for a while, including telling me that I was being a witch, expecting her to drive with her own kid. The way I look at it is that I did not choose to have a kid. So her child should not be our responsibility to figure out. I've been a doormat most of my life, but I'm just not doing it for my wedding. I tried to work with her on finding a way out there, and she did in fact find a way, but she expected me to find a solution for her to make a 10-minute drive to the store because she went to the mall first. I'm so sorry if the story is confusing. I'm just trying to get all the details in there, but there's just so much that happened. So anyways, am I the a-hole, and what do we think about that? No, that story.
I'm just confused.
Yeah, it's confusing because of Josie's logic,
yes,
but not because of what you, like, how you explain things.
No, yeah, to be clear, I understand everything that happened in the story. I just don't understand why it happened.
Exactly. There are so many solutions and so many problems that were created for no reason.
Yeah.
But we could still find solutions within those problems.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But
I'm just insane.
Sometimes we have to learn the hard way of how to not be a doormat, and I'm glad that you're learning.
You're learning it on the fly. Good job.
You're learning. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Man, oh man. My friend tried to steal my cat, but karma came for her.
Well, as Taylor Swift says, karma is a cat.
It's true. About 4 years ago, a friend of mine and I rented an apartment together. Partway through, she decided she couldn't afford her portion of the rent, so we decided to get another flatmate. I contacted a friend of mine, Bella, and she moved in. At the end of the lease term, when my original friend moved out, I took her room, Bella took my room, and we decided to sublet to 2 of our other friends from high school, Allison and Samantha. By the way, this comes from Deaf Girl Jogging, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, after 6 months, Samantha decided to move out early so she could move in with her flavor of the week. And we ended up subletting her bedroom to Faye, who we also knew from high school. I feel it's important to mention that Faye and Allison have been best friends to the point of being almost interchangeable at times since middle school. We lived together for a year and a half. The only changes were that 6 months after Faye moved in, Allison went on the lease, and 6 months after that, Bella's boyfriend moved into Bella's bedroom after being kicked out of his mother's house. We were all asked ahead of time if we minded, and none of us did. Bella and her boyfriend were super laid back and aren't really a part of the story. Toward December of year 2, Faye started picking a fight with me about my cat's litter box. The kitty had been adopted due to a mice issue we were having prior to Faye moving in. Kitty had originally been an apartment cat to be owned equally by Bella, Samantha, Allison, and myself. However, when Bella backed out, Samantha moved out without paying me for her portion of the adoption fee. Allison never paid me back for her portion of the adoption fee. And I had been the only one to care for the cat. It became pretty clear that she was mine. It was made clear to everyone before we adopted the cat that she could not go in my bedroom. I have lung issues that constant exposure to litter dust would exacerbate, a mild cat allergy that is manageable as long as the cat is not on my bedding, and paranoia from previous flatmates who had stolen items from my bedroom. For that reason, I kept my door locked whenever I was not home. All of the flatmates agreed that since she was our joint responsibility, the litter box would be kept in the hallway, and since my medical conditions necessitated a specific brand of litter, I would pay the difference between the least expensive litter and the one purchased. Living together was pretty peaceful. There were a few bones of contention, dishes, and garbage primarily, but there rarely wouldn't be with 4 to 5 people sharing a 3-bedroom apartment. When it became clear that Kitty was well and truly mine, I made sure to set timers for her to be fed on my phone once at 8 a.m. when I got up for class and once at 8 p.m. when I had a break scheduled. I worked from home that semester, and while I had been feeding her at these times anyway, I didn't want to depend on my flatmates. At one point, Faye came to me concerned about her weight and asked if I was missing feedings. I let her know that Kitty's weight was fine, and if she wanted, I would post a whiteboard with the last time Kitty was fed and update it when I fed her for transparency. I did ask her not to feed Kitty outside of the 2 times I fed her, as I didn't want Kitty to associate people in kitchen, I get food. I also made it clear that I did not want Kitty to have people food or wet food, since I noticed Kitty's poop smelled much worse when she ate wet food. Needless to say, some of my boundaries were stomped down almost immediately. Instead of being fed a half cup of dry food twice a day, Faye would fill the bowl to the top whenever she was in the kitchen, thereby completely ruining my training with Kitty. She would also not update the sign and instead allow her friends to erase what I had written and draw inappropriate pictures all over it whenever they visited. I did ask a few more times for Kitty not to be fed. I reiterated the meow is a lie and finally decided to pick my battles and gave up. Fast forward to December of year 2, Faye started to pick fights about the litter box. I usually cleaned it every other day to every 3rd day. At first, she would randomly ask me to clean it, and I would go and do so. Then she started harping that it needed to be cleaned daily. The cat was 5 pounds and didn't produce that much waste, but fine, I told her that I would definitely try to do so. Eventually, she told me that the box needed to be scrubbed 3 times a day.
What?
Or it would be going in my room. That's insane.
What?
Scrubbed?
Yeah, scrubbed is crazy.
Scrubbed
because
is insane.
That's so much more work than just like scoop and poop.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, there's no way that it smells that bad after one day. I've been around cat litter.
Right.
I explained again that neither the box nor the cat could go in my room. And if they could, it would be unfair to lock the cat into a single bedroom for 12 hours at a time or lock the cat away from her litter box for 12 hours at a time. At this point, I was working overnight shifts, coming home, parking my car, going to the house to feed the cat and clean the box, walking to school, being at school for 4 hours, walking home, and collapsing. There was no point in this time that I would be able to scrub a cat box 3 times a day. Instead of being mature and saying, all right, the smell is bothering me, why don't we come up with an alternate solution? She decided to start placing the hooded box right in front of my door, so I would trip over it coming out of my room and possibly fall down a flight of stairs, which I did one time. Thankfully, she stopped that nonsense after a month or so when she probably heard me complaining to my boyfriend that if she didn't stop, I was going to bolt the dang thing into the ground. 10 days before she was set to move out, I wrote out the final invoices and taped them to her door and Allison's door. 3 days before she was set to move out, I came home after an 8-hour shift and 10 hours at school prepping for a welding final to her packing. She almost jumped me in the hallway and asked if I had read her Facebook messages. My answer was no. It was finals week. She knew it was finals week, and I didn't keep my phone on me when I was welding. Welding debris can get in the phone and cause it to not function in various ways. She asked if I could read her messages right now, and I took out my phone and skimmed them since I was trying to be a good flatmate. It was a very, very long message, basically trying to gaslight me into believing that I was a terrible cat owner and begging to let her take the cat with her.
What?
The craziest part to me is that she's right in front of her going, read your text.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Just tell me.
Yeah, and then OP's like, okay.
And she just has to like sit there and wait for
And
you
she's
to
like-
read it? Yeah. And then she wants the cat though?
Yeah.
After all of this complaints about the cat,
You can't
she
even
wants
handle
it?
the smell of the litter box.
Are
for
you
one
gonna clean it 3
day.
times today?
No. She just wants to
Why?
gaslight OP.
Goodness.
She asked if I looked up, politely thanked her for the offer, and declined it. She asked if I could at least think about it, and I asked when she wanted an answer. When she said tonight, I managed to hold back my laugh when I answered, then the answer is no. Good night. I quickly moved Kitty, her food, and her litter box into my bedroom, locked the door, and went to go sleep in my car at work. The day she was moving out, I had a final and was again unreachable by phone for several hours. When I got out, I had 19 missed calls and 17 missed messages and a voicemail from Allison, all wondering where Kitty was. I managed to reply via Facebook Messenger that Kitty was safe in my bedroom with food, water, and a clean litter box, and then raced home to try and sneak in and get her out to my boyfriend's house. I ended up being caught by Faye, who cried, yelled, and screamed at me for 30 minutes straight, and then tried to use the fact that I wasn't crying against me, claiming I was a sociopath.
Oh my God.
She finally calmed down and asked to say goodbye to the cat, which I allowed because I'm not a heartless monster, and that way I could guard the exit. After she and Allison left to take another load of stuff down, I grabbed Kitty, locked my bedroom door, and headed for my boyfriend's in case they tried anything. When I got home, I was only half surprised to find the apartment had been trashed. The lock on my bedroom door was broken, however, nothing was missing. Bella's room, which she had allegedly cleaned 2 days before, was covered in adult soda and chewing gum.
Oh my God.
I found this especially odd as Bella doesn't drink. Faye's room and Allison's room were also covered in adult soda. I ended up carrying out 15 hefty bags of trash when all was said and done, not including the mattresses they left behind. They also left a few things that I knew they wanted behind, so I boxed them up accordingly and asked when everyone wanted to receive their belongings in mail and when I could expect utility money. Allison basically informed me that she would not be paying me because I made Faye cry when all she did was love a cat. I hate that saying. I did not physically force tears. Besides, that has nothing to do with the utility agreement. Faye told me that I couldn't prove that she lived here. Oh, y'all didn't have them on the lease?
No.
Never do that. Always have someone on the lease.
Even if it's your bestie.
Even if it's your bestie. Never sign a lease with people that aren't, when someone living with you is not on that lease.
Yeah.
And she would not be paying since I hadn't told them before they moved out. I sighed, rolled my eyes, and mailed the invoices to Faye's parents' house, where she had moved back to, and Allison's place of work said she refused to give me a forwarding address. When Faye received her invoice, she reiterated that she would not be paying me, and insinuated that if I continued to pursue the bill, she would call the landlord and have me evicted for subletting illegally to her. We had sublet against the lease to her because she needed a place to live. I let it go and figured that if I still needed their combined $120 by the time I moved out, I could sue them in small claims court. By the way, I've got a small claim that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left of this story, but I was kind of concerned that maybe, because OP said earlier that people hadn't. Oh no, that was for the cat. But I was kind of concerned that people wouldn't be on the lease because of all of this change of, changing of the guard.
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It seems, though, like everything else, OP's handling pretty well.
Yeah.
I am so mad hearing this
So
story.
mad.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm sure OP is mad, but she seems to be handling it like pretty well, though.
Yep.
And reacting to things pretty well.
Yeah.
So good on you.
Good on you, OP. Less than 2 days later, MSPCA started banging on my door. Then it was our city's animal control officer, BARL, and PETA, since Faye had threatened to call animal control due to my abuse and neglect of Kitty before she moved out. I let them in, let them see Kitty, and collected the reports. It was when, within 1 week, Elder Services showed up, my car windshield got smashed, and DCF showed up that I rolled my eyes and told them it was an ex-flatmate who wanted my cat and was angry I had asked her to pay me back. All of the complaints were basically the same, including the verbiage. When the officers finally got tired of her and Allison, to a lesser extent, emailing them and filing reports about people that didn't exist, they called her and she denied it all. Allison immediately started a group chat with all of us, with her and Faye playing the victims, even making up a story about how someone from that email attempted to quit Faye's job for her. They're now going around saying they'll be calling in their parents to pursue a criminal case of identity theft.
What?
I'm just so done with this petty juvenile nonsense. I hope they got the message and the emails and reports stop, because otherwise I'll be stuck filing a restraining order against them. Yikes, these people suck.
OP is so chill about
this.
this.
Yeah, OP's like, yeah, it's my ex-flatmate.
Yeah.
Like her car windshield smashed in. She's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And all of these different services called upon her.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm literally suing these girls.
Honestly, I would immediately file a restraining order.
Yeah.
You
You're so
are
chill.
being so chill about this. I don't understand that. But I mean,
Good
if
for you.
that's, bringing you peace, yeah, good for you.
Good for you.
Oh my gosh.
Dang, man. But that is the end of that story, folks.
Yes,
and
it
the
is.
end of this episode.
Wow, look at that.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.